Hello, my name is Hassan Sorrells, and this is the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast in shorts. There's no co-host on shorts episodes. These are now 6 to 8 minute observations, ideas, thoughts, or rants about the literature, philosophy, psychology, and the theology of leadership. Because listening to me talk about leadership for now around 6 to 8 minutes is still better than reading and trying to understand yet another business book, even the one that I just wrote. Man proposes and God disposes was once stated as a maxim and a reminder of the laws of nature, and served as a warning to all human beings, and leaders in particular, to avoid the perils of hubris and narcissism. In our age, however, humility is lacking, but perhaps it has always been so. Even the ancient Caesars, recently crowned, would ride in their chariots, pulled down the Appian Way, to the thunderous sound of the applause of the crowd, while just behind them a slave would whisper gently in their ear, "Sic transit gloria mundi," literally translated, "Thus passes the glory of the world." Or, as the famous World War II General George Patton once put it, "All glory is fleeting." The leaders who fail to understand or to even acknowledge this theological element of leadership move on to hubristically proposing actions and ideas and run the risk of narcissistically falling prey to the seduction of temporary and transitory success. Age should temper this tendency in leaders, along with wisdom and maturity. But as the West's cult of youth has raged like an out-of-control fire set by a gleeful and malicious arsonist, we all collectively have forgotten that it may be best to avoid granting authority to anyone who hasn't had a little life put on them. Never trust anyone over 30 was the mantra of a generation past. However, the fires of a youth-obsessed culture, easily manipulated by emotional appeals, visual stimuli, and immediate gratification, demand that people under the age of 40 be granted access to money and resources they may lack the appropriate humility to appreciate. Leaders, standing on the shoulders of giants to see farther than the giant is fine, but many times it's better to acknowledge the presence of the giant and the value of its impact first. Hierarchy and humility are the two twin poles around which leadership, genuine, wise, thoughtful leadership revolves, and leaders, men and women alike, must be tried by the fire of failure rather than washed immediately in the waters of unearned success in order to lead teams and individuals through the trials and the tribulations that always come. And man, even technologically adept man, still ranks below God and nature in the hierarchy of metaphysical reality. Leadership is wise when it works with this fact of metaphysical reality rather than kicking against it, seeking to knock off a few splinters and chips of success from the giant block of the inestimable infinite. Thus passes the glory of the world. And well, that's it for me. Listen and subscribe to the Leadership Lessons from the Great Books podcast on all the major podcast players that you listen to podcasts on, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and even Spotify. And please leave a 5-star review if you like the show. We need those reviews to grow, and it's the easiest way to make sure that this show gets into the ears of the leaders who need to hear it. And of course, tell all your friends. If you want to get started on the leadership path, HSCT Publishing's products and services can help your team do that. Check out our training webinars, coaching services, and more at leadershiptoolbox.us. We also have a video-based subscription service, that's software as a service, that can help your team become better at the individual level. 60 modules on over 100 hours of video and written content for you at leadingkeys.com. That's leadingkeys.com. We've also got books that will help you and your team grow. Pick up a copy today of My Boss Doesn't Care, 100 essays on disrupting your workplace by disrupting your boss, and subscribe to the Little Red podcast I launched earlier this year with the same name as that little red book. My most recent book is 12 Rules for Leaders, the Foundation of Intentional Leadership. Co-written with contributions from Bradley Madigan, this is the book for right now that was written for leaders right now. Pick up a copy by heading over to 12rulesleadersbook.com/now. That's 12rulesleadersbook.com/now. You pay for shipping, and you'll get a copy of my second book as well. Finally, you can get all these books in paperback, hardcover, or as ebooks on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kobo, and any other place online you order books. Finally, HSCT Publishing is on YouTube. Like and subscribe to the video version of the Leadership Lessons for the Great Books podcast on the HSCT Publishing channel on YouTube. Just search for HSCT Publishing and hit the subscribe button. You'll get our weekly video updates, which is the video version of this podcast. And, of course, you're going to want to subscribe to my other podcast. That's right, I do more than one. The Hasan Sorrells Presents audio experience, where I talk more casually with a broader range of people about all matters that matter in the world today, from arts all the way to analytics. All right, that's it for me.